Lauren Hanson. Jean, I'm out here at the medical center where history took place today as the first COVID-19 vaccines were distributed across the state and across our nation, including right here in Bowling Green. Just a couple of hours ago at 2 o'clock, Dr. William Moss received the first COVID-19 vaccine. So we'll have more on that coming up a little bit later at 4. But for right now, it's really cold out here. So let's send it over to Shane. It didn't take long for that emergency authorization for the vaccines to be sent across the country, including right here at the medical center in Bowling Green, where the first doses were given just a couple of hours ago. And I have to tell you, when I got the notification that they had received the vaccines, that we were a go to do the COVID-19 vaccines, I welled up. I got tears in my eyes thinking about the Kentuckians who have been affected by COVID-19 and those that we've lost, including one of the medical center's own, Dr. Rebecca Shadowin. And so this is definitely a game changer, as the medical center likes to say. They say, but we have to keep our guard up still as well. We have to continue to wear our mask, to remain socially distant, to practice proper hygiene with washing your hands. So they say, while this might be the beginning of the end, we're not quite there yet. We have to get Kentuckians vaccinated, and we're going to actually talk to the first person who was vaccinated a little bit later, and we'll hear from them tonight on 13 News at 5 and 6 o'clock. And while few Kentuckians have officially received the vaccine, some are hesitant and fear its side effects. However, side effects from vaccines are nothing new. Similar to the flu vaccine, doctors say the COVID shot can cause soreness, fever, and a headache. Doctors say major side effects are rare and were not common during the COVID trials.
Over 200 years that we've had vaccines, the safety profile of the great majority of vaccines is excellent. I mean, there are side effects, they're rare. Most of the time they're very mild, other than just a little bit of a mild illness after you've had the vaccine.
Doctors are worried the mild side effects will keep people from getting the second dose of the COVID-19 vaccine. They want to reiterate these are nothing new. Now, 3 Kentucky hospitals, U of L Hospital, Baptist Health Lexington, and the medical center right here in Bowling Green, each received 975 doses today and began their vaccination plans. The governor watched today as 5 U of L health doctors and nurses who've been working on the front lines to help keep Kentuckians safe during the pandemic received their vaccinations in public.
When I walked over here, I just lost my 27th patient today. So the vaccine I took today was for her family and for the other 26 that I've lost, but for all of the other families and patients that I've held their hands.
The initial shipment of the 2-dose Pfizer-BioNTech COVID vaccines arrived in Kentucky yesterday. And now to the latest in Kentucky's coronavirus numbers. Governor Andy Beshear announcing 1,802 new cases today. There are more than 224,000 total positive cases across the state. 17 deaths were reported today, and the positivity rate remains at over 8%. Now to COVID-19 across the nation, as Rena Roy reports, today's vaccinations mark a major turning point 9 months into the pandemic, with COVID-19 cases, hospitalizations, and deaths still rising in most parts of the U.S. Still ahead on 13 News at 4, the Health and Human Services Secretary discusses the logistics behind distributing the COVID-19 vaccine. We'll be right back.
You're watching 13 News at 4.
Our goal for the next 30 minutes is to give you the best information that's available from our community leaders. We have medical and other community leaders standing by with a look at the proactive approaches they're taking to fight COVID-19. Now, here are the latest numbers from the Kentucky Department of Public Health. In Kentucky, 16 people have tested positive for the coronavirus, with 153 people tested and 139 negative results. Those numbers were updated just a few hours ago. Governor Andy Beshear held a daily briefing just a short time ago, and he says the state has 3 labs up and running to test for the coronavirus. The House of Representatives taking action on a stimulus and when the Senate could vote. ABC's Rachel Scott is tracking that story. All right, this just in, and you're hearing it here first. Georgia has postponed their Democratic primary due to the coronavirus. This is the second state to do so. The first was Louisiana. Kentucky Congressman Brett Guthrie of Bowling Green produced a PSA to help prevent the spread of COVID-19. Let's take a look. Earlier this week on AM Kentucky, Laura Rogers interviewed Dr. Rebecca Shadowin of Med Center Health's Infectious Disease Department about the coronavirus, and here's what she had to say. Governor Andy Beshear recommended the temporary closure of senior centers to help halt the spread of the virus for those most vulnerable. As Allie Hennard reports, one local facility is taking those precautions with an aggressive approach. And our reporter Allison Baker just got back from a cruise. As a precaution, our corporate office has decided anyone who goes on a cruise or leaves the country will work from home for 14 days. And now you also said that they had hand sanitizer, they had hand washing stations around the boat as well. So tell us about those. And Allison will be in touch with you over the next 14 days as you're working from home, but we'll see you back here at the station in a couple of weeks. All 172 Kentucky school districts in the state are closing for at least 2 weeks at the governor's recommendation. Schools in the region are working to ensure that students will still be provided lunch with the schools being closed. Now, according to the Edmonson County Food Service Director, they've been working tirelessly to create a system to make sure that every Edmonson County student that needs a meal will be able to get one. Over 100 WKU students are being sent home from overseas. The university has decided to pull students from Harlaxton College in England. This coming after concerns of the coronavirus. Emily Bunning is with the program and says she's disappointed, but she understands. Students were told to get a flight out as soon as possible. WKU's semester at sea is also being brought home. To follow Western updates, you can go to wku.edu/COVID-19. And our Allie Hennard is with WKU's president, Dr. Timothy Caboni, and they join us with a look on how the coronavirus concerns are affecting the university. Hey, Allie. There's a wealth of information on our website and WBKO's app concerning the coronavirus and the nation's, the state's, and the local communities' responses.
You can also call the state's hotline number or go to the website at the bottom of your screen for more information on COVID-19. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you back here for 13 News at 10.